Hello everyone, I'll try to keep this brief. I finally have built my new computer. Hopefully that'll allow me to edit videos and do all sorts of other stuff better. I can't tell you how much it sucked not having a good tower computer, especially being a computer engineering student. Nobody can be an effective computer science or computer engineering student with only one monitor at a time. It just doesn't work. Anyway, here's my new computer. I assembled it with Asus X79 Deluxe LGA 2011 motherboard. An Intel Core i7-4930K 6-core processor, or Hex-Core if you want to be specific. It has 32 gigabytes of 2300 Hertz DDR Type 3 RAM. It has a GeForce GTX 600 graph 33 gigabytes of RAM. It has a 4 terabyte mechanical disk drive with 256 megabytes of cache. And the CPU cooler is an ETS T40 Black Twister with shiny blue LED lights. My old computer, which you might have seen in previous videos, lost its wireless antenna, its hard drive, and its power supply. The video card's also gone. I sold it a year ago after I got this card. So I was running this card in this computer for a while. It worked great. But I had to replace the power supply that the computer originally had because I needed one with 400 watts. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of buying a cheap one from Best Buys. It worked great for a while, and then it started to overheat every time I did anything graphically intensive, causing the computer to crash. But I didn't throw it away. I gave it to my friend. He put it in one of his many machines up at his house, doing menial tasks. My folks gave me a new one for Christmas, a CX500M power supply, 500 watts. So that'll take care of all my needs for quite a while. Now, unfortunately, the story doesn't end there. I ordered the motherboard from Amazon. It was supposed to be a LGA 2001 version 3, but what I got was a version 1. I did not realize the mistake until after I installed it several weeks later and found my processor could not fit. I originally had purchased an i7-5820K, but I did not want to bother disassembling my machine to replace the motherboard, and it was past the return date anyways, so I just sold the 5828K and bought the 4930. They are practically the same, and for my purposes it really makes no difference. I also had a minor hiccup with this casing. When I purchased it, I thought this model had a hinged front that covered its optical media slots. Apparently, an earlier similar-looking model did have the hinges, but this one, the hinges have been removed. They replaced them with these pegs that hold the front permanently into the body of the casing. The optical media slots have been replaced with extra hard drive bays. So I bought this thing. It's a portable DVD burner. It's not something I'll use often, mostly whenever I have to reformat my computer. I got it marked down at Fry's, so it's not a big of a deal. And finally I got the damn thing assembled, but then this happened. Let's fire it up and see what happens. Ooh, that's working. I'm not getting a Q code of 0. Let's see, am I getting any display yet? Powered the video card, so that should be displaying. It's working better than it was before, so I don't think there's a CPU error this time. So it's not saying there's a CPU error, just not displaying. Pretty though. Yeah, it's a $1,200 light show. Bloody brilliant. I don't know. Maybe I'll just call tech support. I mean, they did just send me this thing. It should work. Their tech support was jammed up from calls for their new router. Nobody knew how to set up their own router. Last, when I was checking on the status of this replacement that they were supposed to be sending me, it took them forever. Apparently, one of the most common complaints they were getting is that they didn't understand why they had to plug in their wireless router. I fear for this society. Alright. Well, I've made progress, clearly, so I'll just shut it down for the night. Got some homework to do. Oh, back again a couple days later. So, I opened it up and I played with the video card and found it wasn't seated properly. So I guess all these motherboard problems I've been having, I just sort of missed the obvious things to test for. So I'm going to see if reseating the video card has fixed it. Shiny again. Now let's see, do I get any display? I may have the motherboard, those monitors backwards, so I'm not sure which one will display anything. Up, aha! It's working! Monitors are backwards, but it's working nonetheless. Holy crap! What's it gonna do? What's it gonna do? It posted! It displayed! It's doing things! Alright, it's asking for boot media. It must not be programmed to look for a USB drive first. Alright, so now it's time to set this thing up and reverse my monitors. So I'll let you know what happens later. Bye bye. So that was dumb, but there was more dumb to come. I have decided to forego upgrading until Windows 10 is released because I don't like Windows 8. So I am using my Windows 7 license from my old computer. While the UEFI of this computer can recognize USB 3.0, Windows 7 without a proper driver cannot. Some of you might be seeing where I'm going with this. I had my keyboard and my mouse both connected to a hub that I thought was connected to one of my USB 2.0 ports. It was actually connected to a USB 3.0 port. So, as soon as the Windows 7 setup began, it would freeze, quote unquote. I took the machine apart, checking every connection, reseating all the RAM cards, and I researched all the reasons why Windows 7 would freeze at the startup. Finally, I looked where the hub was connected and discovered my stupid mistake. Lastly, I had a problem trying to extend my partition to the entire 4 terabytes of the hard drive. But even loading the OS to a 200 gigabyte partition and making a separate data partition could not solve my problem. I could only use a total of 2 terabytes no matter what I did. After some studying about GBT converting physical drives, I learned that it is not possible to use more than 2 terabytes on a physical drive that contains a Windows 7 boot partition. I can't even extend the data partition beyond the 1.8 terabytes. I also found that I only can use a maximum of 16 gigabytes of system memory with the Home Premium version. Here's hoping Windows 10 isn't as bad as Windows 8, because I will be upgrading this summer when it is released. Besides that, it looks good. Time to start editing videos again, I hope.